One of the worst aspects of the war on reproductive freedoms, the war on abortion that we're experiencing right now, is that it is not enough for these people that the actual legal victories that they get, that's not enough. They're getting more than that. So it's one thing when you put enough, rabid Christian zealots on the Supreme Court that they'll set aside all precedent and destroy Roe v. Wade. But what if abortion pills became illegal, or at least not accessible, in states where they are technically perfectly legal? Well, that's what they're getting, and they're getting it because of the pressure that they're putting on businesses. So Walgreens confirmed just a few days ago that it's not gonna be dispensing abortion pills in 20 different states, including states where they are fully legal. They are not illegal to do. They're just not going to do it, and it's because of Republican pressure that they're putting on that company. And by the way, when Walgreens does this, when it bows to political pressure and makes it so that people can't get access to these things they should be fully legally have accessible, you'll notice that that is a perfectly fine exercise of political pressure or whatever. If you, for instance, ask a company like Disney, like, hey, maybe you could have a gay character or something, that's unacceptable because it's totalitarian. In any event, here's Chris Kobach, AG for Kansas, who said, in my letter to Walgreens, we made clear that Kansas will not hesitate to enforce the laws against mailing and dispensing abortion pills, including bringing a RICO action to enforce the federal law prohibiting the mailing of abortion pills. Evidently, Walgreens understood that my office was serious about this. I'm grateful that Walgreens responded quickly and reasonably and intends to comply with the relevant laws. Exactly, so they are trying to pressure these companies to not have those things be available. And I guess you might think, hearing that, well, that makes sense. I mean, it's Kansas after all, right? Kansas, super red state, super conservative and everything. I will remind you that just last year, they tried to outlaw abortion with a ballot initiative, a referendum. And that didn't go so well. Against, the vote there was 59.16%. Now, that doesn't get Chris Kobach out of office, so he gets to sit in that office and pretend that the people of Kansas agree with him when it has already been definitively proven that they do not. That a belief that it should be outlawed, even in this supposedly red state, is very much a minority position. But Chris Kobach is just doing what basically everyone in right-wing media does. They look out there, they understand that their positions aren't popular, that they're on the radical fringe of American politics, and they just pretend that that's not the case. So anyway, what I would like to see personally is if pressure can cause Walgreens to make this change, then maybe that's what we should use. Maybe putting a little bit of pressure on Walgreens to sell perfectly safe medication that is legally allowed in that state. I think that seems like a very reasonable thing for a company to do. Maybe enough pressure can get them to actually do it. 19 states, by the way, already banned the prescription of abortion drugs through telehealth, meaning that you have to go to a clinician in person or find abortion medication online on your own. And if we go to this right now, you can see a little bit of map of the current state of medication abortion through telehealth. The blue states are the place that it's already available, no telehealth medication abortion restrictions. And then you can see in many states where it's banned, you're really not gonna be surprised, I don't think, by virtually any of this. By the way, we don't have time to go super in depth on this, but the war right now over access to either information about abortion online or the actual medication online is not just about whether you can go through a particular pharmacy. There's a lot of tech right now that is potentially already infringing on your privacy rights when it comes to these things and could do even more in the future. ProPublica did some great work. They ran checks on 11 online pharmacies that sell abortion medication to reveal the web tracking technology they use. Late last year and in early January of this year, ProPublica found web trackers on the sites of at least 9 online pharmacies that do provide pills by mail. Abortionease, bestabortionpill.com, Privacy Pill RX, Pills Online RX, Secure Abortion Pills, Abortion RX, Generic Abortion Pills, Abortion Privacy, and Online Abortion Pill RX. So these aren't even places that have been like cowed by the right to not do it. They'll do it, but they're tracking you. And maybe that doesn't have any consequences. Maybe it never matters that they were storing your information. Or maybe someday they're gonna hand it over to a Republican state legislature, or a Republican AG, or a Republican governor, and they're gonna lock you up. Maybe, it's fun. And by the way, you gotta love the branding on abortion privacy as they wildly and repeatedly violate your privacy rights. Isn't that fun? Anyway, there's an example also where Facebook might have already contributed to the sort of hypothetical that I was just laying out right there. A woman named Jessica Burgess and her daughter are going to be standing trial in Nebraska for performing an illegal abortion, with a key piece of evidence being provided by Meta. Meta working overtime to betray your trust and remind you of why are you still on their platforms. Maybe Instagram, you can see some fun photos or whatever, although they'll probably track you on that too. But on Facebook, honestly, why at this point?